Hello everybody and welcome to the last video in this course. And right now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how you should price your own work. Basically, what price tag should you put on your own work and how you should actually charge the clients for their own jobs. Okay, so right here, let me just open up my notepad in 1 second. And let's say that, for example, your hourly rate, let me just view this in zoomed in, so we will zoom this in so you can see everything a little bit better. And once again, okay, so let's say your hourly rate is around $50 an hour. So basically everything will revolve around this hourly rate. You set this up for your own profiles, you set this up on your own online accounts, and basically you want to keep an eye and basically you want to keep this hourly rate in your mind. So for example, let's say you find a job that says fixed price $300. Now this fixed price $300 in your hourly rate means that you will be working around 6 hours. Now it depends from a job. Let's say this job is to, for example, retrieve someone's Facebook account. Now what you should do in that case, you should actually tell the client that it depends on the time that you will spend, how much they should charge for that job, because this actual job, for example, can be finished in around 1 minute if you're really lucky, to around never, because sometimes you actually will never be able to retrieve someone's Facebook account if you're not, for example, able to brute force the password or something like that. Now these are all terms that most of you will not really understand if you're not in the ethical hacking field, but doesn't even matter. What matters is that if you charge $300 for a fixed price job that will take around 10 hours to do, basically you should change the fixed price to $500 and provide to the client the reasoning for that. Now this right here you should only do if the client proposed to you. Now of course you will not charge $500 if you're the one submitting a proposal, because the client's budget is $300. But if the client reaches to you and says, hey, I want you to do this work, I'm willing to offer you $300, you shouldn't really lower your hourly rate because that client has approached you and you didn't approach them. Now of course, if you find a fixed price for the $300 for a job that will take 10 hours to do, you can simply either just keep it if you don't want to go lower on your hourly rate, or you can simply just apply to it and do it for around $30 an hour, because maybe you know how to do it and you really don't mind working for a little bit less than usual. Okay, so this is regarding fixed price jobs, and make sure to differentiate whether you approach the client or whether the client approaches you, because of course if the client approaches you and says I have $30 budget for work that will be around 10 hours long and you basically charge $50 an hour, you don't really want to lower your actual hourly rate that much, and therefore you don't really want to apply to that specific job. Now another thing that you should know about is the actual hourly rate job. So for example, you have an hourly rate jobs on Upwork, therefore you need to specify in a proposal how many hours you want to, or how many the client should charge you, or how many you should charge the client for an hour. So let's say you charge $50, you need to keep in mind that the Upwork will take around 20% of that, or 20% of your earnings. So basically what you will receive at the end is $40 in your own account. So you will basically be working for $40 an hour, which is still good, but you should keep an eye that this is still not your hourly rate. Therefore, if you want to, you can try to increase it, but I really wouldn't advise that, because clients don't really like once you actually have the one hourly rate on your profile. For example, let's say on your profile it says $50 an hour, and then in the proposal you simply just submit $60 an hour, and then they will be like, why are you charging more than it says on your profile? And basically there is no need for that. If you simply just want to work for $50 an hour, you can simply just calculate 20% off of that and simply just add something to that, or simply add $60 an hour on your profile, and therefore once you actually work with the clients you will receive $50 because Upwork will take some amount of money. Okay, so another thing I want to show you is basically what you should do once you're working in a specific team. As we talked about in the previous video, let's say you find your cybersecurity team, your ethical hacking team, and you work with different kinds of companies. Of course, there will be different packages that you want to offer to those companies, and you should also price those packages differently. So let's say package 1, package 2, and package 3. So you have 3 different packages. Let's say the first one only offers one-time security measures. The second one can offer, for example, you can check up on a certain actual company once a month, so once a month security measures. Now this doesn't have to actually be split in this way. You can simply just have different types of packages, such as securing different types of things: local network security, wireless security, website security. All of those should be priced differently. But for now on, let's take a look at the actual amount of time that you work with a certain company, and right here, constant work and partnership with a company. So let's say you have these types of 3 packages where you have one-time security measures. Let's talk about how you should price these types of packages that actually consist of you as a team working different lengths of time with a specific company. So let's say a company wants to hire you to have a one-time security measures. Now this is something that should be charged the most because you're only doing it once. You will not really have an actual opportunity to work with that company once again. So let's say you charge for a security measure of a local network or something like that, you charge $1,000, and doesn't even matter. I just put a price right here, and right here, once you have once a month security measures, you can offer to the client or to the company a little bit of discount onto the actual performance of the security tests. You will simply be performing the same thing you do in package 1, just you will be doing it each month. Therefore you can simply just ask for around, I don't know, let's say lower it to $700 a month, because that will be one security test a month. Therefore, if you work on a longer time, you can simply just price it differently. And a constant work and partnership with the company is basically that you work with them every single day, and therefore this doesn't really have any price. You can simply just make a deal with the actual company, see what they want from you. If they want too many stuff from you, or you charge it more. If they only want a little bit of things here and there, you can charge it less and see how it will go from there. So basically this is not the only type of packages that you want to price. You also want to price, for example, let's say they want you to perform. Let me just go right here. You have different types of tests, such as website security tests, network tests, wireless tests, and then you basically test their machines. So for example, for the vulnerabilities on their Windows systems, on their Linux servers, you want to perform the hardening of the Linux servers, then you want to perform hardening of the Windows servers, for example. All of that should have a specific price written to it. Basically you can decide that it can be different regarding the country that you live in, the actual skill that your team has. So if you're really good, you can charge more money and you can actually promote yourself to be really good. Now another thing that you should actually have is basically the website for your own team. You should create it at some point. You should also promote yourself on different social media. Therefore the more companies will be able to contact you and to find you, and therefore you will have more business regarding your own team. So if you, for example, open an Instagram account, Facebook page, you run Google Ads for your service, you basically have a website that is really well done, that says in clear text what you offer, what is the payment, and how you can work with a specific company. You should do all of that, as it really relieves the client side of work, and therefore they are most likely to hire you than anyone else that they don't know anything about. Okay, so basically this would be just a brief overview of how you should price something, how you should work with your own team, and how to promote your own actual team in the ethical hacking field. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this course. Now what we did in this actual course is basically I provided you with a little bit of knowledge here and there on how you should start off with your learnings, where you should learn ethical hacking, and therefore right after it how you should get your first job, which type of paths you can take, such as for example considering your own team, consider giving private lessons, opening online freelancing accounts where you can find your first jobs, and then mixing all three and having your actual job as a career. So thank you for sticking out through this course with me. I hope it helped you a little bit at least, and I hope soon enough you will find your first job. Thank you once again and take care. Bye.